Today we're going to go over 18 great gift ideas for homesteaders, farmsteaders, or your crazy chicken ladies. Some of these gifts would be good also for just general outdoors people who like to do a lot of outdoor activities in the wintertime. Good morning, Lucky. Would you like out? First category of things are outdoors clothing. Very helpful for working with the chickens will be your chicken boots or mud boots, or a lot of people do get muck boots, but I find they tend to be quite expensive. One great brand that I found just recently are High Sea boots. They're more reasonable in price. They do have a lifetime guarantee where you can get one set of boots to replace if you ever have a failure of your first boot. It's also nice to have boots that are high enough for snow, at least if someone's in a place like West Michigan where we get a lot of snow. I like boots that come almost up to the knee, and that way you can wear them out even when you get over a foot of snow, which we had about a week ago. Also along the lines of winter gear would be mitten gloves, where you could take the top part of the mittens off and you have fingerless gloves underneath, because a lot of times you need some dexterity when you're working outside, but having the mitten part that you can flop back over is helpful to keep your hands warm in between those times. Another great thing to have when you have to work outside in the winter and it gets really cold, we'll get down to -10 here, sometimes even a little bit colder depending on the year. And to get those morning chicken tours done or evening chicken tours done and not freeze, it would be really nice to have winter hats that cover the ears. And this could be just a complete like hunter style hat, or it can be a more stylish one if you like. But these are coming so handy in the winter in places like Michigan. Another thing that's handy to have are crampons for boots, because as you get to the freeze thaw section of the year, snow melts and you get a bunch of ice spilled up outside, and just for safety reasons, having a simple set of crampons that can clamp onto basically any size boot, then you can even share it with your partner or other people in the household, would be very helpful. And to go along with our cold weather winter clothing theme, you know what else would be helpful is just some nice wool socks, like some hiking socks or something like that. Good warm wool socks definitely help. It means you don't really need as thick of winter boots if you have warm wool socks. But you can also double those up. So definitely helpful to have in the wintertime for outdoor chores or hiking and camping. Another thing that to help keep people warm in the winter when they have to go outside are those hand warmers. We actually use these at winter market times. Mike will often bring these so that he can work and be able to count money and sell products in the winter markets. We do have an outdoor market that goes all the way through Thanksgiving, so it can get quite cold. For switching gears to summer wear, I do still agree these boots are highly helpful in the summer or winter. So those are year-round. Sun hats can be very helpful in the summer. Something with a brim that shades your face and your neck. If you're working long hours in the garden, you don't want to get sunburned while you're doing it. So sun hats are another essential clothing type that you really need to have on hand for growing your own food. Just one more thing for outdoor gear that I would suggest would be an activity watch. Not essential, but would be nice to have for anybody who loves the outdoors. So if we switch to things for their crazy chicken ladies, or other people who own chickens, it is nice to have some treats that you could give your chickens in the winter, but they tend to be kind of expensive, especially the mealworm. So if you know someone owns chickens, giving them a big bag of mealworms seems like an odd gift, but their chickens will thank you for it. They absolutely love them, and it'll give them a source of protein in the winter time, which they don't usually have. Lucky, did you want to take a bath? Hey, and another thing along the lines of chicken care, or anybody with animals on the farm that they have to take care of through the shorter days of the year, it is really nice to have a good set of headlamps to use when it's still dark outside. Because oftentimes you're out here before the sun comes up, or you're coming out to close everyone up after the sun goes down. So that kind of transitions us into more tools. So there are a number of different tools that could be helpful on the homestead that would be great to give to a farmer or homesteader. One of them just being a multi-purpose tool, just something they could carry in their pocket and have, so they don't have to run back to the shop or to grab a tool that they need if something they notice is broken while they're out. So multi-purpose tool is very helpful to have as well. What's going on down there? For those who do some gardening in the springtime, it's great to have a hori-hori knife. This is good for actually your foragers and your gardeners, because you can dig roots up with this. You could take your weeds out with this. You can trim things with this. It's just, you can use it for a lot of different things. You can plant plants with it. Great multi-purpose garden tool. Another great garden tool to have would be a broad fork. Now this is quite a bit bigger, so it's not something that you're going to probably put under a Christmas tree necessarily, but something you could have shipped to a friend who does a lot of gardening, especially no-dig gardening. Broad forks are very handy to have. Of course, for the gardeners and also the foragers, to have some really nice harvest baskets would be helpful as well. There's a variety of different styles, but I've listed one in my list here. And by the way, check out the links in the description and in the pinned comment for a link to this list. It is an affiliate link, so we do earn money if you purchase anything here, but it does not add to the cost if these are things that you want to purchase. Another thing that's helpful to have for the garden is a compost thermometer, or a couple compost thermometers. I would say this is helpful for the gardener who has chickens or has their own source of manure. It's absolutely essential to make sure your compost is getting up to temperature to kill any pathogens. So compost thermometers are awesome to have as well. Hello. You hanging out with me? And moving on to our last section of gift ideas would be for the kitchen. So for anyone who is growing their own food, raising their own food, there are some nice things to have in the kitchen. One being canning supplies, pressure canners or water bath canners, books on canning and how to safely can. All of this would be helpful for someone who's trying to grow their own food and store it for the winter time. That pea plant has survived temperatures down to 17 degrees, by the way. Still living. Okay, last thing for in the kitchen I would put on this list, and probably not the sole thing. We do have other lists of kitchen supplies and books and stuff that would be helpful, but I would also suggest an Instant Pot. We've not always been on the same page for the Instant Pot trend, but these definitely save time, and you can use it for multiple purposes. You can use it like you can use your crock pot. You can use it to make yogurt, homemade yogurt. You can set up a dish to make and walk away from it and come back to it. So if you're really busy, especially if you work full time like we do, that can be helpful as well. So we will put an Instapot on this list as well. And you can always get books for Instapot recipes as well. So you can find my links to all these things in the description below and in the pinned comment. And I have a kit that's just for these specific gift ideas, but we have kits for other things as well. So you could take a look through this whole list and see, if you need ideas for gifts for this winter, for Christmas time, for birthdays, for anything, for your homesteaders, farmers, crazy chicken ladies, or just those who enjoy the outdoors life more. These are great gift ideas for anybody in those situations. So I hope you guys have a great shopping season for your holidays. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you with our next video. Take care, guys.